make ourselves look smart.
Let's go. Hello everyone. Welcome back to Doctor Who and Autism Celebrations. For another group episode where joined back by people who have been on maybe the series in for the first part of it in August and a little part of it in September, and some like Scott from last year. So yeah, we're all going to be talking about Doctor Who today. And it's gonna be awesome. So guys, I'm going to get you guys to introduce yourself again, because I don't know, people might not know who you are. Well, they might know if they remember you from last time. So James, I'm going to get you to go first because you're first on the you're next to me on the screen. So if you wouldn't mind just doing an introduction of yourself.
Hi guys, my name is James Ayres. My previous podcast had Parker, that has now changed back to Ayres for a variety of reasons. I'm 20, 1 week today away from being 21, so yippee. Happy birthday to me. I'm here once again with Maz for the podcast. My first podcast was the podcast I did a wee while ago. So little bit weird listening to my voice, but got used to it when I was watching or doing some work. I can't really remember what I was doing. I think I was on a train up to Edinburgh when I listened to my podcast, so that was quite fun. But yeah, that's pretty much me from my side of the story and my side of the podcast.
Yeah. So happy birthday for next week. By the time this goes out, this is currently November, so you're already 21. So I hope you have a nice. I hope you already had a nice birthday. You know, and the universal time travel. So Scott, would you mind doing an introduction of yourself, please?
Yes. Hello, everybody. I'm Scott Stevens. I'm 19. You can find me on TikTok at the Evergreen Doctor. And happy birthday for in 1 week. I, like Maz, hope you've had a really good birthday.
Yeah, yeah. What did you do, James, for your birthday?
So for the 1st of October, my birthday's on the 3rd of October. Yippee. 1st of October, I went to a convention. Again, I've not been to a convention since May of this year. I sort of got busy with work. I was then supposed to go to Birmingham Collectomania. That got cancelled. So that scrapped that plan for September. So going to a convention on the 1st. It's the first convention I went to back in March, sorry. My internal clock's a little bit off today, it seems. Work's done that for me. So that was my first ever convention I went to in March. But it's the same convention again, but in October. So looking forward to going to that. Then Monday the 2nd, I went rock climbing. I do also rock climb as one of my side hobbies. Indoor rock climbing, not really outdoor. Don't have to deal with the wind and the rain and the British weather indoors. So that's always a perk.
Yeah.
And then Tuesday, happy birthday to me. That's my birthday. Did basically nothing and enjoyed my birthday and my presents.
Yeah.
So yeah, that was pretty much my birthday. That was fun. 21, so that's a big milestone. And then went out to dinner, which was very nice indeed.
Yeah. What did you get? You don't know that far. Yeah. Well,
And a veggie burger. I'm a veggie, so I don't eat meat or fish. So
okay.
yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So right, with Doctor Who, guys, at the time of this recording, only the other day, the official Doctor Who trailer came out for the 6th anniversary specials, which will air this month for people listening right now, or watching. So did you guys watch the trailer?
Of course.
Yeah. Silly question.
Of course, why wouldn't I?
Yeah. What do you think of it? Do you think it's a really good trailer?
Would you like to go first?
You can go first if you want.
I loved it. I truly thought it was brilliant. I loved seeing Neil Patrick Harris as the toy maker. I feel like he's very much going to be a psychological villain and playing a lot of games and obviously bending reality around the Doctor. I feel like, for example, and this is just something that I think would suit how it looks like it's going to work. The scene where David runs across the top of the unit building screaming, "Your fight is with me." I didn't really see that gun in the beginning where they're just walking across the top. So I'm wondering if he's just kind of conjured that out of nowhere, as if he can just kind of pull things out of behind his back. And I think that's going to be a lot of fun to see on screen.
It's going to be super cool because, like you say, the toy maker, like all those different clips that we saw, little clips, like you've got David Tennant that looks like he's in a prison from when he's saying, why does it have to be this? So who knows what that will mean, but it's very interesting. And that gun is, I think it is like you may have seen the a couple days before the trailer, they released this unit image saying, I think Tuesday till Thursday 9:30 a.m. with a little graphic on that. And if you actually zoom into that image, that is the gun that Neil Patrick Harris is actually using as the toy maker.
Oh, okay.
That's quite
I
cool.
didn't see that.
Yeah, so and it's called a galactical something. I can't actually remember, but you'll actually see what the actual gun is called. If you zoom in.
Okay.
That's pretty
I'll
cool.
have a look at that.
Yeah. And no clue why it says Tuesday to Thursday at 9:30 a.m. We thought at the time that was because they were releasing little announcements that started from that Tuesday, but they didn't do the Wednesday, but they did the Thursday, but not at 9:30 a.m. So that's really interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting. But James, what did you think of it?
So watched the trailer and rewatched it and rewatched it and rewatched it. I'm just damn straight looking forward to watching David Tennant on my television for these brand new episodes because I think I was about I was 3 years old when Christopher Eccleston came back as the Ninth Doctor. So I was about 3.5, nearly 4 years old when Doctor Who with David Tennant kicked off. So didn't really watch it when I was a kid because I was 4 years old. So I'm just looking forward to seeing David Tennant on my television screen for these brand new episodes, really, because I've watched them on catch up, but it's not really the same as watching it live when everyone else is watching it. So that's why I get very upset when my aerial in the attic breaks and I can't watch my live broadcast television in my room, then I have to use my Xbox. Yeah.
Yeah. It does look like that this is the best that we'll see David Tennant as the Doctor, I think.
Yeah.
I think because the anger you can see it of him in that trailer is very interesting and yeah, like I'm very intrigued how Donna will actually get her memories back. Probably the toy maker will be like, here's a game, you play my game, you get to remember everything that you lost. But if you lose your game, you could die. So that is the sense that
Yeah.
I'm getting of how Donna could have her memories for a little while.
That'd be good.
Yeah.
Yeah. But here's another thing. I've always said this. Back from when we knew last year that Neil Patrick Harris was there, probably back when we did your episode, Scott, last year, I still think Neil Patrick Harris will not be the main villain. Will not be the only villain, let's say. I don't think he will. Because I always say, why tell everyone that he's going to be the main villain when we want it to be as big a surprise as we can. So I think that he's not just going to be the only villain. We know Beat the Meep's in it and the Warriors,
I'm
Rough
looking forward
Warriors.
to seeing Beat for the Meep.
Yeah, it's very cute, Beat the Meep.
Who do you think would suit being an overall villain then? Like, who do you reckon that they'd be sort of hinting at it might or keeping secret? Who do you reckon would be the big bad of these specials then?
I don't know. What I do think is that we're turning this into a multiverse of madness kind of vibe here, because as you can see in the trailer, when David Tennant says something came through, I don't think that's the only something that would come through. Like when all that happens, like the blue kind of vortex, that looks like a portal. It looks like a portal's come through with Neil Patrick Harris as the toy maker. And I think that will lead a way for companions potentially, older companions, and potential doctors. But
Yeah.
the thing that I'm really intrigued at the whole of that trailer is to know where Shooty Getler is by the end.
Yeah. I mean, one thing I do think could possibly happen is Martha Jones returning in Unit.
Oh
So
yes.
Freema Eidman, because last we saw of her was working with Unit in the Sontaran Stratagem, I believe, and the Poison Sky, which is one of my favourite episodes.
I definitely do agree that Martha is definitely on the table, especially under Kate Lethbridge-Stewart. I think that would be a very fun pairing to see the two of them, especially if the rumours of a Unit spin-off are true.
Yeah, that would be pretty cool. Seeing her and going, hang on, have you regenerated the last I saw you? How have you
Yeah.
ended up back in this face, kind of thing?
I think it'd
And
just be
then
laughing.
asking about how many faces really he's had, because he's had 11, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So he's had 3 new faces since his last incarnation, pretty much.
Yes.
I reckon there would definitely be some kind of throwaway joke about how much he seems to like that face, having had it 3 times now. Because obviously you've got 10, and then 10 Mark II when he regenerates into the same body, and now 14.
Yeah, metacrisis.
Yeah.
Instantaneous biological metacrisis. Yeah.
We have and it's gonna be interesting what Kate Stewart's first reaction to seeing the Doctor, because of course Kate Stewart saw the 10th Doctor 10 years ago and thinking, hang on a minute, that's the 10th Doctor, just older. So what's happened here?
I'm very excited to see how they explain 14 having the same face. Because as much as I do agree and do think that the possibility of it being something that the toy maker's done, I feel like that's possibly a little too obvious and there might be something else at play.
Yeah.
No idea what, but
yeah. So one of the other things I thought could happen if other worlds might possibly collide with the toy maker, maybe we'll see Rose again, possibly, but again, Freema's more likely on the cards than Billy. So there's a chance we could see Rose again, but we're more likely to see Martha.
I'll tell you why Rose is a very high chance as well, because you may have seen in the trailer, we've seen it before, but you have to be really careful when you see this. You'll see Neil Patrick Harris's character with a load of roses in a shot, and that is the reason why I think Rose potentially. I think the toy maker will really tease the Doctor, saying Rose this, Rose that, because of course, Rose. We would have 2 Roses if that was the case, because of course, Donna's daughter. Rose.
Yeah, Donna's daughter, Rose. So that might get a little bit confusing.
Yeah.
Rose 1 and Rose 2.
And it's going to be really interesting when they react, like when the Doctor hears Donna say, Rose, come on. And then he's thinking, Rose, what do you mean?
It's a bit like right now with my workplace, because last week we had a new work colleague join us and their name is James Alexander. So our signatures are exactly the same. So when it comes to signing paperwork off, our signatures literally match. So because I've worked there longer, I went and said, I will go with a nickname. Now, it's not really Doctor Who related, but my nickname is Iggy Frome from New Amsterdam, which is what I'm currently watching, because I've watched all the Doctor Who episodes and ran out. So watching something new.
Yeah, you got Freema in there as well. So
Yeah.
yeah.
So
Doctor.
when I started watching New Amsterdam with Freema in, all I saw was Martha Jones.
Well, you would, because she wears
And
that
then I got
white
used-
clothes, don't she?
Yeah. All I saw was Martha Jones with Max Goodwin, and it was such a weird combination, because obviously it had aired like first over in America, so the Americans wouldn't really know Doctor Who, so they wouldn't really link Martha Jones to Freema Eijman. But because I've watched it on Amazon Prime here in the UK, and I've watched Doctor Who with Freema in, I've had that weird transition from Martha Jones to Helen Sharp, and it's like, now I've gotten used to Helen Sharp and not Martha Jones, but it was a weird match and a weird combination to start with. But my favorite character is Iggy, so sorry, Max, but yeah, my favorite character is Iggy. Everyone at work calls me Iggy now, which is really funny. I wish it was the Doctor, but that might get confusing. So
Yeah.
Iggy works. Iggy is stuck.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So with the section that we saw when the Doctor says, "I've got a memory," what do any of you have any theories what that could possibly be? Because he's got a memory. What do you think?
I would say that it's possible that the memory itself is maybe of the toy maker, or maybe it might be a more sort of a backstory kind of sort of aspect of it. But either that, or it could be completely unrelated to the toy maker. And like you said, Mason, it could be maybe hinting at someone else, another sort of higher big bad that's the ultimate villain of the three specials.
Because we spot, we know when in the trailer when the Doctor and Donna go into the toy maker's shop, which is quite funny, because when I went to Cardiff months ago, I went in it, and it's not a shop. It was a calf. It's a calf. So it's quite funny. Everyone's staring at me in my clothes. Because in the first trailer we got someone with an umbrella. If you spot, they've forgotten about that. And maybe a lot of people have. Of some guy with an umbrella going into the toy maker's shop, and that don't look like the toy maker to me. So that's really interesting who that is. And the person on the motorbike.
Yeah.
We saw a person on the motorbike, so we don't know who that is either. But getting back to the point, so with when they go into a toy maker's shop, of course we see the Doctors saying something is coming to this world, and then they have the interaction with the toy maker, and then something is said, the person who waits. That's really interesting who says that. So I don't know if it is actually the toy maker. It might be someone else, because it's a slightly different voice.
Never noticed that.
Yeah, because
Me neither.
if you listen back, the person who waits, I wonder who that is. It might be
I mean,
the
I was
toy
going to anyway, but now I have to rewatch the trailer. Oh no.
Yeah, you'll hear it,
Same
like
here.
the person who waits. You go back and listen to that, like it's very intriguing. And then you see the world basically ruined, all the fire everywhere. It's very cinematic, I say.
I
Yeah.
must admit, I don't know if it's just the budget, but I'm really liking how the scale is being portrayed in these three specials. I must admit that scene of like all the streets cracking open very much to me looked very much like the newest series of Stranger Things.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
It
right.
definitely reminded me of that.
Yeah. Season 3 of Stranger Things.
Mm.
Not season 3, season 4. Sorry.
Yes.
My apologies there. Yeah. I've got a season 3 poster behind me, which is what made me think of it. Being the season 3.
Yeah.
I've got loads of posters on my wall, so wherever I turn my camera angle to, I've always got something on my wall. Oh look, there's a Kingsman. Part of a Kingsman packaging box. And
Kingsman's
then
good, yeah. The Kingsman's very good.
I'll take you around.
Yeah.
Death in Paradise. And then my ceiling is also caked in posters. So we'll go up there.
Posters galore.
There we go. I ran out of wall space, so ended up on my ceiling.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was funny. But
Yeah.
yeah, so with you going in cosplay to a place in Cardiff, I am planning to go up to London and back in the day. I know, may seem a little bit insane, but it's possible with where I live. I've got very good rail links to London Paddington and London Waterloo. So I'm planning to go to Earl's Court, which is where a TARDIS is in London. So I'm planning to go in cosplay. So I'll stick out like a sore thumb in the centre of London, but I really want to get a photo by this TARDIS in the centre of London. And then my plan is to then just take the big jacket off and then get down into my under jacket, and then I'll just look like a business person in London for a business related trip. So that's my plan, at least. And then I also plan to go to the Doctor Who shop as well, because they've got the small attached museum. So I'm also planning to go to that as well on one of the days. I'm planning to go on a Thursday because it's the closest I can get to midweek, but it's not open on Wednesday. But I don't want to go on a Saturday because that's the weekend, and I don't want to go on Friday because it's the end of the week where everyone tries to get away quickly for the weekend. So that's why I'm planning to go on a Thursday up to London and back in again in a day.
Yeah.
Sounds like you've got a nice day planned.
Yeah.
I've been looking for
It's
a
just whether
TARDIS.
I can get the trains up, because I'd have to get a very, very crack of dawn service up about 6ish in the morning to get in for about 9. And then I'd have to possibly get the Night Riviera back, the sleeper back, because there's nothing really decent in the evening. There's a 9 o'clock service out, but I'm sort of like wanting to stay out late-ish, so I might have to get the sleeper back. But we'll see what happens. So it'll be fun.
Yeah. It sounds like you got it all planned.
I also want to go to Glasgow for a few days, and my parents are like, why so far away? Because we were in Edinburgh a few months back, and you didn't allow me to go to Glasgow when we were geographically close to Glasgow, when we live right in the bottom part of the country, the furthest away from Glasgow. So you've just made my trip to Glasgow 10 times more difficult, because I have to take a ridiculously long train up, stay in Glasgow in a hotel for a few nights, and then get a ridiculously long train back, when I could have been and back in a day. So that's always fun.
Yeah, that is fun.
Parent. Yeah.
Yeah. So with let's say the scene that the doctor says, I don't know if I can save your life this time. What do you think about that?
Mm-hmm. I mean, it would be sad to see Donna go, but I think, given the storyline of what happened in the past with Donna and him being regenerated back in his old face, but in a different incarnation, I do think there will be a chance that she will not make it to the end of the season. It'll be sad, but I think that is what's most likely in the storyline. And it's almost, I think, maybe something to do with her actually remembering what happened, and the instantaneous biological metacrisis resurfaces in her. I think that could possibly be to do with his regeneration into Nishuti Gatwa. Maybe he can't live with what happened, and so it's a forced regeneration into Nishuti Gatwa, or something happens that means that 10 regenerates, well, 10, 14 regenerates into the 15th Doctor, because of something happening to Donna.
Yeah, that it's very interesting, because perhaps that the 14th Doctor may sacrifice himself to save Donna, potentially. because you don't want 60th to be sad. It's like a celebration of Doctor Who for 60 years. Like, if
Yeah.
there is a death, it might be Donna, but if that is the case, maybe leave that to the Christmas special, perhaps. Which is good. We're getting one for so long.
Yeah.
Yeah.
About time, really.
Yeah, it is. It is about time because we haven't had one since I think 2017. I think last one was. It might be
Yeah.
2016.
Yes.
It's actually quite funny because I didn't see them filming up in Cardiff, but I went to a place a little closer to where I live, where they're filming a completely different television program, and they had an entire mock Christmas market in the middle of August. It's so it'll knock out like a sore thumb in the middle of this place. It's called Lou down in Cornwall, and it was so funny having this massive Christmas market. Well, not massive, this big Christmas market with Christmas trees and Christmas lights and Christmas music right in the middle of August. Like, it's not even been my birthday, it's not even been Halloween, and they've got bloody Christmas decks up in Lou. It was so funny.
Yeah, that's crazy in August. But they do that.
Yeah.
They do that because you know when End of Time Part 2, with Wilfred and the 10th Doctor in the cafe.
Yeah.
Well, I went there when I was in Wales earlier in the year, and they told me where the seat was when I was in there, and I said the only reason I'm in here is I'm wearing my 10th Doctor suit. You can see why I'm here.
You stick out like a sore
Yeah,
thumb,
yeah,
so they know what you're
yeah.
doing.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
they tell me well when they recorded it here it was like there was a huge crowd outside, but it wasn't Christmas, it was Easter. So they have a signed autograph in the shop in the cafe of the Planet of the Dead, that Easter special, and it's signed by David Tennant. So it's really
That's quite
crazy.
cool.
It's crazy that I had all that for Christmas, or yeah, it was because it was a Christmas episode, wasn't it? So
Yeah.
it was crazy, and I did. It's really good to eat there or have a snack or coffee. Very nice. But yeah, I thought it was crazy. But they say it's crazy, and when they film a year in advance or they film not in the period of time that we're watching it in.
Yeah. But yeah, I'm looking forward to the Christmas special of this television program coming out because I know when they filmed it, and I've seen the set, and yeah, it's Beyond Paradise in case you're curious. It's the spin-off to Death in Paradise. Um, so that was good fun. And then I went down a few weeks ago, got heat stroke in the process of watching them filming, which was really awesome. Apart from the heat stroke.
Yeah, it's always nice to go over and have a look at some filming when
Yeah,
doing it.
even if it's not just Doctor Who.
No,
I've not actually had a chance to watch any filming or anything. I'd love to be able to go and see something, especially Doctor Who, but I've never actually done it. I've never actually gone and like seen a set or seen any filming on set.
Yeah.
Mm.
So the day I went down to Lou down in Cornwall, it was only supposed to be a short there and back trip on the bus. It turned into me getting the train home, but I'll post them to the group chat later. But basically, I got photos with the main cast members, which was really awesome because they, like, even though they are doing their job of filming, they will, when they get a short little like gap in their schedule, they'll come over and they'll have photographs with the audience, which is really cool.
Yeah,
Because that's the way you connect with your community, really. If you've got fans, you could either be an absolute snob and ignore them and not have photographs with them whatsoever, but then that's how you lose fans and lose fan base. But if you actually take the time out of your schedules, out your days to come over to fans like me who are insane enough to come down in the middle of summer, in the middle of the heat, and sit and watch you film for multiple hours on end, I feel like I deserve a photograph after all that.
Yeah.
It is.
Yeah,
A little while ago, a number of years ago now, there was someone getting filmed near where I live up the road, and it was chucking it down with rain, and everyone's standing outside, and it was with Peter Andre. He was doing that house program where he goes to the house and has a look at it, and everyone's asking for photos when because they've been there for hours in the rain, and then
yeah,
he doesn't do that, which I guess is understandable in a way, but at the same time,
yeah,
you would think of all the fans that have come here for their time to have a few pictures with a couple of the fans. Um,
yeah,
I'm not a particular fan. I was just there because I didn't know what was going on. I just went down there and I had a look, and then I actually
yeah,
went quite close to him saying I have a picture, and he says no, sorry. So there are people out there who won't do it, and there are
yeah.
people who
And
will.
that's understandable if you don't want to have your photo taken. But it's one of those things where, like, in this case, the cast members actually came to us and
Mm.
said, "Who wants to have photos?" So that was really nice. And it was actually quite funny because I got a photo of the clapperboard, um, but I asked the crew member if I could have a photo of the clapperboard, of just the clapperboard, and she went and double checked for me. She didn't have to, but she did, which was really nice. But unfortunately, I wasn't allowed to just take a photo of the clapperboard as just the clapperboard. But she said, if you take a photo of the clapperboard in another shot, nothing I can do about it. So I have a photo of the clapperboard from that day, being used in a shot. So I don't have one with me, but of it being basically used in the shot. So that was really cool.
Oh yeah,
And
that's good.
take we were able to take photos of the filming, but we just weren't allowed to record anything. So that was also really cool. But yeah, it turned out to be an awesome day, really, because one of the cast members recognized me from a previous visit and actually went, "Are you the one who made the cards?" And I'm like, "Yep." So I got new Posca pens, and if you don't know what Posca pens are, they're basically acrylic pens, and they've got, instead of normal pen ink, they've got like acrylic paint in them, so you can use them to draw, but you can use them to paint at the same time.
Yeah.
So I used these brand new Posca pens to make them appreciation cards. So I did one for the crew and one for the cast. Um, and I handed them a few weeks back to one of the members of the crew, who also recognized me and went and said thank you for the card, and that it sat up in the crew office, which was really cool.
Oh,
And then the cast member recognized me and remembered that I was the one who made the cards. So that was really lovely. So that was pretty awesome end to my day. And then I woke up the next morning with heat strokes. So
Oh,
yeah, that was fun.
yeah, that is really fun.
Yeah,
With the 60th, and I don't know if any of you noticed this, but you know when the helicopter is going to with the TARDIS on the end, and the Doctor's actually in the helicopter. If we remember back to the 50th anniversary, when Matt Smith doesn't like getting picked up as the 11th Doctor, well, Kate Stewart has listened this time around to say, "I just put you in a helicopter and thingy the TARDIS," because before he was hanging on to it, wasn't he?
yeah,
I wonder if there'll be a direct reference to that because that would be awesome.
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. It'd be nice if the Doctor said to Kate Stewart, you listened."
Yeah.
Yeah,
yeah,
you listened from 10 years ago. Um, but yeah, it's going to be interesting because I didn't see Donna. Donna is there on the helipad, but she weren't in the helicopter. What I saw from the window with
yeah.
14th Doctor. Um, but yeah,
Maybe she had to have her memory wiped again.
maybe
This time not from the doctor.
Kate Stewart is collecting the Doctors like medals though, and the amount of
Mm.
Doctors that Kate Stewart has seen. Um, and Ncuti Gatwa as well, because Kate's in that series as well,
Yeah,
which and it looks like Shirley Ann Bingham, who's playing an unknown character, probably Unit, probably Kate's sidekick, I reckon. Um,
yeah,
Because I'm unsure if Osgood is still there. Maybe not. Maybe it's just Ruth Madley is playing the sidekick now. Like second hand. Yeah. But yeah, it's very interesting because Unit looks like Avengers. That's what it is.
Yeah,
Very
I've
much,
seen
yes.
loads of comparisons, photos of. Does this look familiar? Oh,
Yeah.
yes, it does.
I
Which
saw
is quite
someone
funny.
say that did they get their lease from Stark Industries?
Yeah.
That's quite funny. Just rented the building out for Unit from Stark Industries.
Yeah, I'm gonna see Spider-Man
Yeah.
pop through or Iron Man come through.
Oh, sorry, wrong universe.
Yeah. But
Just
imagine.
see Spider-Man crawling up the Unit headquarters, and then he looks at the camera and goes, "Oh, sorry, this is not the Stark Industries building, is it? Oh, no, sorry, it's the Unit building. Sorry, wrong universe," and walks out. That would be really funny.
Yeah. It would be, and like anything can happen. Like it'd be nice to see Susan somehow on the 60th. I'd love to see Susan pop up.
I really hope so. I feel like her comeback is it's getting longer and longer before it's long overdue, and it's getting longer and longer. I'm really hoping that we do see her, or at least there's some kind of a reference to her, because in the 100th anniversary of the BBC, I feel like that was the perfect place to put Susan at the end of that episode with the companion support group, and she didn't show up, and
Yeah.
it just felt like that would have been your golden moment. So unless you're saving her for something else, come on, give it back to us. Give it to us in some way. So I'm really hoping she'll show up in the 60th.
Yeah. You have Ian Chesterfield showed up, who was of course the teacher all the way back.
Yep.
One of the first persons to pop up on the screen as well, I think. But yeah, like from that support crew, I think we had Joe Grant, we had Mel in there as well. Mel's in series 14, so she's probably in the 60th as well. Probably part of Unit, I reckon, because Kate wants to recruit people for work, so that makes sense. Unit's in it now. Mel potentially part of Unit too.
Yeah.
Graham probably not. Graham probably not. Who knows? Graham might be part of Unit. It might be funny.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
if you've not seen it, this is the cover of the new Doctor Who magazine. Mine
Oh yeah.
arrived yesterday,
Oh yeah. I got that.
so that was cool. Annoyingly over there, but I'll quickly just move over to grab it. But I have my folder, which lives over here in my room, which looks like a nuclear bomb's gone off in it. And it's where I keep all of my Doctor Who magazines in. Getting a little heavy now, but I painted the TARDIS myself onto the
That's
folder
awesome.
itself.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's awesome.
So that's the folder itself. So my plan is to not sure where it says, it's either on the side or it's down here. So down here it says, "This one's for you, David Tennant." And my plan is the next time I go to a convention with him is to get this signed by David Tennant, and then each consecutive folder I'll get signed hopefully by a different doctor. So
That'd be really
yeah,
cool.
and then that's the corner, which I also painted myself.
Loving the
And
logo.
then I've also got
Okay.
the issue number. So because I've not filled it, I haven't wrote the final issue number on it. I will, when it's filled with issues, I will write the final issue number, and then I'll get a new folder and carry it over. So say 600 onwards to 660, for an example. and just keep carrying it over through folders. And then each folder will have something different on the front. So my next one, I'm planning to have a Dalek on.
That'd be
Then
cool.
probably a Cyberman head.
Yeah, that sounds
Yeah.
really fun. Yeah, it's good. I used to do that for what did I have? All the Doctor Who Adventures, I think. But they stopped them. I love them to start them
Oh,
again. I loved getting the toys in it as a kid. Of those
yeah.
Doctor Who Adventures and
Yeah.
You can still sometimes find the you know, the eagle moss figures. You can still sometimes find these knocking around. So I've got a 10th Doctor eagle moss figure. He's actually got quite funny little story line with himself. You probably can't see it very well, but his head actually broke off. He fell off my shelf and his head pinged off, and it was really annoying because I had to make an emergency trip to Tesco's near where I live to get super glue, and the super glue section was shut off, so I had to get an employee to escort me to get super glue to fix his head.
oh,
Okay. I've only
Yeah.
had a few of those Eagle Moss figures. The first one I got was the first one they released of, I think it was the first one, 11 doing the Pandorica Open speech. And then through time and many times of dropping him, he broke off the stand, but his ankle broke, so the foot was still on the stand. Then he lost an
Wow.
arm. I had a Dalek that lost a few ears and a gun. And then the only one that I've actually managed to take good care of was
Yeah.
I
I've
have
got
the
tiny little one here.
I've got the TARDIS they did for like the special edition ones, and
Oh yeah.
I only got the TARDIS, and I'm really upset because I really want the Emperor Dalek because that is awesome to me.
Yeah. So my two other Daleks have annoyingly lost their eye stalks, which is really annoying. That one fell off a shelf and lost its eye stalk, and this one fell off a shelf again. Things falling off shelves is like a notorious thing occurring in my bedroom. Don't know why it happens. Almost like they're suctioned into my floor by gravity. And this one's also lost its eye stalk as well. So they look a little bit odd without their eye stalks, but I plan to hopefully find them eye stalks and hopefully super glue them back on. I have a literal supply of super glue to fix eye stalks off Daleks because my eye stalks fall off so often. It's so annoying.
I've got here the
Uh,
Dalek from Dalek. The episode.
yeah,
That's pretty cool.
that's pretty cool. That.
Yeah. So
So this
it's
is
pretty
my, but yeah, this is my little tiny baby Dalek. This one's one of the die-cast ones, with little wheels on the bottom so you can push him around. And he also came, yes, go on, come off your stand then if you fancy it. Came with a little tiny Cyberman,
Oh,
oh, that's
and
awesome.
that's the, where is it? There it is. And that's the Cyberman stand that it
I like
stands
that.
on. So he's got two little holes in his feet, but whenever I pick him up, I always forget to pick him up from the stand because he will come off your stand pretty much. And then by lean and grab, I have still in packaging
Ooh.
the pop vinyl Dalek.
I got
So
the same one.
I got I got this one from the National Museum of Wales when I went to Cardiff. Cost me an arm and a leg, but totally worth it. Yeah, twins.
Yeah, that's the first one I ever
And
got.
then yeah, this is the first pop vinyl Doctor Who that I've also got. And then once again, leaning distance. I am not grabbing any of the figures because they are high up there, and I can't be bothered to get them. But I have a little
Matt Smith.
tiny
Oh,
baby
I have.
11th. So I'm
Uh,
hoping to get a few more at this convention. So he's just not on his own. So I'm hoping to get a few more of his own kind at the convention because he's a little bit lonely on himself. apart from my figures up there. Oh, you got a little Cyberman.
I've got the little Sideman from the character options sort of Lego one. I also
Yeah.
have a Weeping Angel, but they've lost a hand.
They used to do when Matt
So-
Smith was the Doctor. They used to do load of little ones of them, similar to what Scott looks like there. And
Yeah, I've even got the Daleks.
Oh, that's quite cool.
I used to go to
I've got,
Tesco's all the time and collect them.
Yeah, I've got Dalek Sec, and I do have a little bronze Dalek, but again, one of the ears is broken off. And then I have many, many Paradigm Daleks, both the red, mainly the red ones I've got, and then I've got a little Eternal. And then the ones that I'm more proud of, I've got a while ago they brought out an official Doctor Who Lego set as a Lego Ideas thing.
Yeah.
And in that set came with
Drop.
Wants to Fly.
Yeah.
I have the official
Lego.
Right. Yeah. Gonna see if I can change. There we go. That might be a bit better. It's very bright.
Yeah. That's
The
pretty
Weeping
cool.
Angel. And then they did for Lego Dimensions a Sideman.
Oh
Oh,
yeah,
that's pretty cool as well.
I remember that.
And they also did two little Daleks for the set.
Oh, that's pretty cool. So I have one of the I'm not exactly sure what they're from, but I think it's from one of the Doctor Who games. But I also have an even tinier little baby Dalek, and that's the underside of it. So it's one of those ones. I also have, they're annoyingly stuck on the top of my monitor right now, so I'm sort of, come on, yanking them off because they've got blue tack on them in order to stay. But I've got a little, I'm also removing the blue tack as we speak, another little Dalek human hybrid sec, the Dalek humans hybrid, the werewolf from Tooth and Claw. These are all my like tiny little baby ones, and then I've also got the bat creature from School Reunion.
The Krillitanes.
Yeah, I couldn't remember what they were called then. And I've also got a clock man from the Girl in the Fireplace as well. So I've got some
My
of the
partner
little
loves
tiny,
those.
which I got actually at Basingstoke Comic Con, which was cool. And then, oh, there you are. I wondered where you'd gotten to. And then I've also got a tiny little
Oh,
TARDIS.
is that the pencil topper? It's got the hole in the bottom, hasn't it?
Yeah,
Yeah, I think I have that as well.
yeah. So it's the tiny
Somewhere.
little pencil topper TARDIS, which is, compared to the other 4 TARDISes, is the smallest of the lot. So I'd have to shrink my Doctor Who figures down to fit in it. Although probably wouldn't have to because it's probably bigger on the inside. So
Yeah.
yeah.
I have got a lovely Doctor Who quiz book. And to finish off for the last couple of things of the episode, I'm going to ask you each a question. And let's see if you can get it. And let's have
Pub
a look.
quiz round.
Yeah, pub quiz round.
Actually had a pub quiz a few weeks ago and came third, which was pretty good. So
Oh, congratulations.
Oh, yeah.
thank you. And half of it wasn't even my work. There was only one question, well, only a few questions that I could answer because it was my sort of generation. I was with my grandparents, so it was mostly like 80s and 70s stuff, so not really my generation. So there was like a few questions which I could answer. One of them was, when was the accident at Chernobyl? 26th of April, 1986 at 1:23:45 seconds. And I did that down to the T and went, can we get extra points? All you needed was the date. not the time. And I was like, yeah, but I got the date, so do I get an extra point? No. Put down an extra point anyway because I felt like I deserved it.
Fair enough.
Right. Right. Let's we don't want to do. Oh, shall we? Okay. So I'm gonna ask. This is a more recent episode in 2020. So, what did Assad, the lone Cyberman, chase through time that would enable him to rebuild the Cyber Empire, which he eventually obtained from the hands of the 13th Doctor in the Haunting of Villa Diodati? A. The Siberian. B. The Siberiad. Or C. The Siberio.
Is this like a whoever gets it first, or are you
No,
asking it to
No, no. Any of you. Any of you.
Siberian? A.
Yep.
I think B.
A or B. Okay. Let's have a look what the answer is.
Be funny if we both got this wrong. And it was C all along.
Knowing my luck.
Me too.
They're all very similar ones.
Oh,
The answer
thank you.
is it's like the weakest link. This. You are the weakest link.
Well, I hope there's no androids.
Or K9.
Hmm.
K9 was actually notorious at breaking on set, so they try not to use K9 a lot during the filming because K9 would break a lot of the time on set, so they would have to spend ages trying to fix K9 when they were supposed to be filming, so that was quite funny. I do actually have a little K9 up there myself, so that was quite...
Yeah,
he's cool.
I've got two. I've got one from, again, my childhood that the little ears broke off, so my dad put two screws in his head to sort of resemble them. And then I've got another one that I found in a water stove that's
wow.
like a classic era one.
That's pretty cool. I love how you've got a janky K9 with screws in his head.
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
Okay.
actually from school reunion as well.
Oh, that's quite cool.
Oh, you've got a K9. I've got a K9 too. I've got a K9 plushie, which you can see probably if I duck. Hang on.
Not
Right
really
there.
reachable.
Right there, behind my chair. And I've got one here.
Oh yeah.
It's like a
Oh yeah.
like
These are mine.
So the answer is Ashad chased the Siberian through the time so that he could attempt to rebuild the Cyber Empire. So it is Siberian. So whoever said A, Siberian is right.
Yay.
You.
Right.
Well done.
Sorry.
Woo.
Let's find James 1. And then I want to find you the one I found a minute ago. Well, what's going to do that one? Ooh. There's loads of questions.
I need that book.
Yeah, there's loads. I went into a bookshop the other day, and I don't normally go into bookshops, but they had loads of annuals of Doctor Who, like 2024. And they
I
also
need to
had
look for that.
yeah, and they also had this book.
I will keep my eye out peeled for it.
And it's
my eyes
called
peeled for it.
it's called Doctor Who Quiz Book. Yeah, literally.
Little, not too difficult to find.
Yeah, Doctor Who Quiz Book. Right. So, yeah, nice one. I want to get a bit older question because that was an older one. Have we talked about the Simon Space Station Nova and the blah blah blah? No, we can't do that one. We just done that one.
Another little thing that I'll quickly show. So I have the 2 parts of the Feast of the Drowned audiobook on disc. So that's part 1, and it's the Radio Times like freebie ones, which I found down at my local charity shop, which
Oh
was
yeah,
really cool.
that's
And
cool.
and I also have the actual book as well, The Feast of the Drowned. So I have
Oh,
the
cool.
audio book, and I also have the book as well. So if I want to, I can listen to the audio book and read along with it as well.
Okay.
And then down there, I've got, how many have I got? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 Doctor Who books, including the 8th one, which is the one up here.
I have the same
So-
book.
Oh, there we
Ah.
go. There's us with the Funko Pops, and you 2 with your books.
The funny thing
I
is the
also
fact
have
that
my
I'm not
box
a
set.
reader.
Yeah, I'm not either.
Yeah.
You just buy it because it's Doctor Who.
Yeah.
I actually have a box set or a book set. Is it book set or box set?
I think it's a
Box set.
you could say either because they're in the box.
Yeah, it got 5
Awesome.
books from 9 and Rose and 5 from 10 and Rose.
That's pretty cool. I've
I like
actually,
the comic
I don't
books.
actually think I've got any of the Rose era ones with me, but I also have probably too big to fit in the frame.
Yeah,
But the Doctor Who Seen It game as well.
yeah.
So I found this in a charity shop in complete condition. For guess how much money I purchased it for?
Is it over 100?
No, much lower.
20 quid.
Much lower.
10.
15?
2 quid.
2?
Jesus.
What, for
Yeah.
that thing you just showed us? That massive thing?
Yeah. For the Seen It game, I spent 2 quid on it.
Very nice.
Complete.
Crazy.
Yeah. I probably won't play it, but it's something to add to my Doctor Who collection. So
Yeah.
I saw it and I was like, oh my god, it's Doctor Who, I must purchase it.
That is crazy.
So,
So
yeah.
the question I found a question. After all this time. And Scott, you can answer it too if you want. So as unit are back, I thought I'll do a unit question. So so this is about Osgood. Who we don't know, does it mean 60th or not? She may not. But so the question is: the Doctor had a fan and a firm friend in Osgood. What is the unit scientist advisor's first name? Perton Pennigan, Pertonella, or Petunia?
I'd say A.
Okay.
I thought it was Petronella. It's Petronella Osgood, isn't it?
Okay, so A is
Might be right again.
A is
Memory's terrible.
I can't even say it. Perkigidium, and then B is Personella. And the answer is, as Scott is right, Personella.
Ah,
Oh.
yeah. That proves the fact that I've got a terrible memory when it comes to Doctor Who related
Right.
stuff, which is highly annoying.
We've got to do it
pretty
until you get
sure.
one right now.
I'm pretty sure, though, that one of those other options for Osgood's first name, I think that's the surname of a Sixth Doctor companion,
Ah,
Perry, or it's her actual name.
that might be the case.
I could be wrong, but I think so.
Okay, you should get this one, James. You should get this one. I'll be surprised if you don't. I'll be really surprised because this impacts the 60th. And yeah.
Yeah.
So the question is, which companion to the Doctor touched a Dalek, which absorbed some of her DNA, ultimately resulting in its death because it was no longer pure? Sarah Jane Smith, A. B. Rose Tyler, C. Amy Pond. Going all the way back to series 1, and I think the episode was called Dalek.
It was. Series 1, episode 6. I think it was
Yeah.
episode
Yeah,
6.
so it would be Rose Tyler.
Yes.
Yes.
You're
think.
right.
Yeah.
You're right. There we go. So you got
Took
one
a little
right.
bit of memory jogging there, but got there.
yeah, we did good. So last questions to you both before we finish, and then we can wave our sonic screwdrivers about. I'm gonna start with you, Scott. The question is, what is the one? I know that there's probably lots of answers here, but what's the one thing you would say you're looking forward or want to appear in the 60th anniversary specials?
I'm reaching a bit, and obviously it's because not every anniversary needs it. But I do love multi-doctor stories, so I would love to see some returning doctors, whether it be any of them. My favorite is always 11, so I would definitely look forward to seeing if Matt Smith would show up. But I would be more than happy to see Peter Capaldi, Christopher Eccleston, or even Jodie showing up, even for just a brief cameo or a voice line or anything like that. To me, would be awesome. I know it's reaching. I know it's dreaming too big, but that would be incredible for me, especially since we're having David back again.
Yeah.
Yes, I agree. Yeah. But you say about the 13th Doctor there. I don't know if you heard it, but right at the end of the trailer when we heard Shooty right at the end. If you listen really carefully, you'll hear that when 13th's about to regenerate into the 14th Doctor, and you'll hear 13th's voice. So yeah.
No, I hadn't heard that, but I have heard people saying that in the trailer, that last shot of Shooty very much does look like he's on the edge that was shown in the 100th anniversary. I think it was the edge of regeneration or the precipice or whatever it was they gave the name of it.
That's right.
But it looked very much like that to a few people. I personally, I don't know. I think that any sort of backgrounds with Shooty Gatwa are edited away or changed in a way so that it doesn't give anything away. No, like they did in the very first one where they obviously showed him on like a sort of cliff top with all the clouds in the background, and then they came out and confirmed that that's not an official shot, like he's not actually there. I think it's going to be a very similar situation where it's going to be like, is he there or is he not? He could be somewhere completely different. Like that could be. I don't think that's going to be his like regeneration. I think that that's going to be a shot of him either from maybe even a Christmas special that comes later, or maybe from just a later scene, because if you look carefully, he's not in 14's clothes. So I don't think it's going to be a regeneration kind of thing.
No, I don't think. I think maybe 14 and the 15th will meet or something like that. Maybe that is how maybe the Multi Doctor could happen. But as you say, I'd love more Doctors. More Doctors the better. But with just before I go to James, with when we saw like all the chaos going on in the trailer with Donna, with all of them, I think that could be a dream. When all the chaos is going on and Neil Patrick Harris is doing this with his laughing voice. I think that could be a dream. And that's and those scenes. But James, what would you want in the 60th to happen?
Well, first of all, I'm very impressed that it's managed to make it to 60 years, which is bigger than my lifetime on this planet, but also the fact that my own parents grew up with this program on their televisions, and then I've grown up with it on my television is pretty special in itself. But I'm mostly just looking forward to seeing David Tennant on my TV screen again as the 14th Doctor.
That is
really because
seeing David Tennant at its best, still going on as the Doctor. I completely agree.
He'll always be my Doctor for my Doctors.
That's awesome.
Pretty much.
Yeah. So we got James just wants to see David Tennant on the screen again, and then we got Scott that wants, presumably Matt Smith, let's say, the 11th Doctor. He wants to see 11th Doctor on the screen, but he doesn't mind if any other the Doctors coming as well.
Maybe we should just go and watch the 50th again. It's got both 10 and 11 in it.
Yeah.
Both happy then.
Yeah. So before it's great to have you both on, but before we finish, we're all gonna sonic our screwdrivers and say maybe a line, one of your favourite lines in Doctor Who, or something, or make your own one up. So when you're ready,
you can go first because I'm gonna need some time to think about a favourite line because there's just too many.
There is too many.
Same here. And I don't want to go with my favourite line from my previous podcast.
Yeah.
I don't remember what my favorite line from my previous podcast was. I must admit, I never
Void
actually rewatched it because I was embarrassed to see how much I stuttered or stammered in it.
Yeah. But hang on, let's not say a separate line. Let's just wave the sonic screwdriver about, which is easier. But let's just point it and do that.
I mean, we could always just say, happy birthday, Doctor Who.
Yeah, say that. Happy birthday, Doctor Who.
Happy
Yeah.
Happy
birthday,
birthday,
Jimmy.
Doctor Who.
Yeah, happy birthday, Doctor Who. Happy birthday, Jane.
Happy birthday, everybody.
Happy birthday.
Happy birthday whenever everyone's birthday is.
Happy birthday. Happy birthday. Happy birthday, Doctor Who. Yeah. Very nice. Very nice. But thanks, James. Thanks, Scott, for coming on for a group episode and returning to the podcast.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah.
Problemo.
There'll be different opportunities for you to get involved in different sort of videos for the 60th. Looking to do a 500 miles video. Looking to do happy birthday 60th
I would love to
anniversary.
do that.
And we're also looking to do what Doctor Who means to you. So there's certain videos that which all details will be sent after and when I want to do them. But yeah, great to have you back on. Hope you both have a nice rest of your day or evening. Very dark now.
Gonna go to bed.
Yeah. Good night. But yeah, thank everyone. Have a nice
yeah.
Enjoy the 60th anniversary specials. And yeah, happy birthday.
Goodbye,
Lovely
everybody.
to meet you, Scott.
Bye everybody.